All right, looks like people are starting to show up. We'll just give it another minute or so before we get going. If anybody has any questions, there is a Q&A function in Zoom. So if you guys have any questions during the presentation, feel free to pop your questions in there. But there's also a chat function as well. So if you need to chat about anything, if the audio goes out, anything like that, feel free to pop that in there. We'll just give it one more minute here. All right, perfect. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. So today we're going to go over the premium dashboard, best practices, and pretty much everything that's included when you join the premium program. So a little bit about me. Sorry, I forgot to change my name in there. My name is Iona Lafrano, and I'm a Publisher Success Manager here at Ezoic. Some background, I played volleyball my whole life. I'm really into backpacking and hiking and anything outdoors. But I also love to bake and cook all the time. So I actually have my own recipe blog as well. So totally understand what it's like being an online blogger. So today we're going to go over a couple of things. First is the premium dashboard overview. Then we'll go over what the various tiers and levels are within premium, so you have a pretty good understanding of that. We'll go over some of the additional reporting that's available to you on premium, and then just some support topics. So the main questions that I get all the time about premium are these right here. So I figured I'd just address them at the beginning. So the first one, why did Ezoic create premium? And ultimately we created premium because the way it used to work before there was a bunch of ad tech companies is that you would have an ad ops team as a website and you would say, okay, we're going to go and we want to find direct advertisers that we want to work with. So what you would do is you would hire an ad ops team and they would go out and they would find these premium or direct deals, but it would be a net 90-day payout. So you'd actually have to wait 90 days after paying this ad ops person to actually see a return on that investment. So our CEO and our premium team came up with the idea that we wanted to create premium, which would go out and find these direct advertisers. We'd get a premium CPM for you guys, but it would still be that net 30 pay. So you guys are seeing that investment within the 30-day period. So why don't you just give me access to premium advertisers without paying? It's not like this is something that's available in Google's Ad Exchange that these advertisers are willing to bid this high. We actually go out and negotiate these deals with them, which is why we have a subscription model for premium, because we need to say we have X number of impressions for April of 2021. What can you give us? Obviously, the more impressions we have, the lower, the higher CPM we can request. So that's why it's a little bit more of a subscription model for premium, because we need to go out and negotiate these. And then how does premium work? Does it take away from my Ezoic earnings? No, it doesn't. I actually have a breakdown of how the payouts work. So we'll get to that in a second, but it will not affect your Ezoic earnings whatsoever. It's not like we're putting money into premium and making it look like premium is earning more. It's actually, we separate it. So I'll go over that in a second. And then why do I have to pay for this? Again, this is reflective of that AdOps team that I just mentioned. So it is that subscription based. So we need to make sure that we have the resources on the back end for a team and the technology in place to go out and provide this program to you premium publishers. So here's the breakdown that I was just mentioning. So a really simple example is, let's say a website is loading and we have a top of page ad. So in the real-time auction, we're going to say, hey, we have a 970 by 250 ad that we're showing at the top of the page. Google's Ad Exchange and the various header bidders that we work with are saying, okay, the highest we can do is a $1 CPM. Well, our premium deal that we've already negotiated is a $50 CPM. So obviously that's going to win. So then in the eZoic reporting, we're actually going to show the eZoic ad partner showing that $1 CPM, but then the $49 that premium is above is going to then be attached to the premium earnings. So you can see that it doesn't take away from your eZoic earnings whatsoever. This is just the additional amount that premium is able to provide. So this is the typical eZoic dashboard. So this is a little bit different than the premium dashboard, which I think I have coming up here shortly. But when you go to the earnings, let's see if I can go back. Perfect. So when you click on this view earnings report right here in your eZoic dashboard, it'll take you to this page right here where we're actually going to be able to break down premium ad partners. So you can select any of these little buttons. If you have any mediation earnings, we can see a little blip right there of mediation. You can toggle these on and off. So if you just want to see your premium earnings, you can click the eZoic ad partners and the mediation ad partners and just see premium. But this will show you day by day. And then down here at the bottom, this is the total amount. So whatever the date range is set to. But you will be able to see your premium ad partners and those earnings down below as well. So to access your premium dashboard, when you go to the home page of your eZoic dashboard, just click on this premium tab right here. And it'll take you over there, and this is what it looks like. So anything related to premium is going to be available here. If you select the elite tier, which I highly recommend, it will give you access to eZoic's Analytics API. So you'll click on this and it'll install it, and it will give you the API key. The really cool thing about this is our tech team just released a new plugin that connects to your WordPress. So you can install that plugin, and what it'll do is whenever you update a post or add something new to your WordPress, it will automatically flush the cache for any pages that are associated. So let's say I add a recipe to my blog and it's in the cookies category. So I just uploaded a new chocolate chip cookie recipe. Well, it's now going to flush the cache for that page. It's also going to flush the cache for the home page because my most recent recipes are filtering into my home page, but it's also going to clear the cache for my categories pages within cookies. So it clears all those caches so you don't have to do it automatically. And we do have a support article on that as well, which I will actually send in the chat if you guys want to get that set up. It's brand new. We just released it last week. But I will get to that in a second. All right, here we go. Chat. All right, so if you guys want to save that, we'll get back to it. So everything from premium is going to be in here. So it's going to give yesterday's earnings, your month to date earnings, and then the last 30 days. So the month to date is going to start at the beginning of the month, so it's not actually your invoice date. And then you'll see your premium subscriptions, so exactly how much you're paying, when your next invoice is going to be created. And then you can click on this manage subscription if you want to change anything. But a couple other things that are included. So we'll jump back into that when we get into the support section. But there's different tiers to premium. So it all depends on how much you are earning with Ezoic and how much traffic. So we have a backend system that determines what is the best tier for your website and your account and how much you should be in. So it starts at starter and goes up to growth, and then we have 3 through 5 star, and then diamond, all the way up to 7 diamond is the highest one that we have right now. And then within each of those tiers, we have different levels. So we have the basic, preferred, and elite. So in the basic, you have access to premium revenue, which is our premium advertisers, and you get unlimited tag tests. So with basic, you're going to have the lowest ROI, but you are going to have access to premium. I'd say we probably only have 1 or 2 sites that are actually in basic, so nobody really chooses this one. Preferred is going to be the middle tier, so this is going to give you access to those premium advertisers. It's also going to give you access to our reporting API. With preferred, you also get first access to big data analytics. So when we go in and we process all the information from the previous day, including earnings and traffic and all the page level reporting that we do, we process all that information for premium publishers first. So typically you have access to those analytics within actually an hour or 2 before our other publishers. And then you have access to site review meetings with the publisher success team and the premium team, which you can find in your premium dashboard. And you also get those unlimited tag tests. And then there's elite, which I would say probably over 90% of publishers that are on premium are in the elite. It's going to give you the highest ROI. It's also going to give you additional access, everything that we have in preferred, but it's also going to give you access to yield reporting, which is our ad level reporting, which I will cover all of those specifically in a second. And it also gives you a discount on Site Speed Accelerator. So there's various levels of the discount depending on which tier you're in. But if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to support.ezoic.com or go into your premium dashboard and then go to the select a plan page, and it will actually show you the discount that you're eligible for. And then within premium, we do have the monthly versus annual programs. So on the right, you can see the monthly has, the basic is at $173 for this 4-star tier, but the annual is going to be $140. So when you sign up for that annual contract, you'll actually get a 20% discount on your monthly invoice, which is a pretty good discount. It definitely raises that ROI. So what I like to do is I like to drag it out over 12 months. So if we have elite, 288 times 12 versus 220 times 12, and then the earnings for that would be anywhere around $330 to $420 is what it's estimated at for 4-star. So kind of make that comparison, see what it would be. I will say most people that are just signing up for premium, if they're a little bit skeptical, they'll do the 2-week free trial, then they'll sign up for the monthly plan, and then within a month or 2, they typically sign up for annual. All right, so into the additional big data analytics reporting, there's a couple of different reports that are now available if you join that elite tier. So the first one is going to be Demand Partner. So this is going to show you exactly which ad networks that Ezoic works with is actually winning the bids on your site. It's pretty common to see Google's Ad Exchange winning about 70 to 90% of the bids. That's really common. But part of Ezoic's plan for 2020 and what we're actually pushing into 2021 is we're expanding our revenue operations team. So we now have a dedicated team that is going out and creating new partnerships with different ad networks to make sure that our ad stack is full and making sure that there's a ton of competition so that you guys are getting the highest bid possible. And then this is probably what you guys are a little bit more used to, at least in terms of what you see in AdSense. So we're going to be able to show you the number of impressions, the revenue from those impressions, the RPM, clicks, click-through rate, viewability, and impressions with refreshes. If you want to use this information for anything specifically, always reach out to your publisher success manager or our support team before making any changes. And we'll get into that in a second. So another report that's available is the ad location. So exactly which location is earning the most and how many impressions are we showing. So bottom floating is going to be the anchor ad at the bottom of the page that sticks with the user. And then top of page, under page title. So it'll give you all those locations. So if you do have 3 different top of page placeholders, we're going to congregate all of that data into the one, because it's one location or type of placeholder. So you're going to be able to get all of that information as well. The next one is going to be the add placeholder. So you see when you add a placeholder on your site that it'll get assigned an ID. So 100, 101, 102, 103. There's a lot of different IDs that are associated with that. You'll also see some different numbers like 0 and 6 and 22. Those are all the different ads that Ezoic is using. So if you have a link unit, it's going to have a different number. Native units are going to have a different number. So all of the various ad formats that Ezoic is now providing, including the vignette ads and the interstitial, are going to show up in here with different IDs. I will caution a lot of people when they get access to this, they want to go in and delete the poor performing placeholders. Do not do that. The way our system works is it's measuring the user experience and the revenue that's generated from all the placeholders and how they interact with each other on the page. So if we have a bottom of page placeholder, we don't expect it to make very much. But there are going to be those occasional users that we know are going to scroll 100% through your page. And we want to make sure that if that unit at the bottom is providing value, and we don't have to show it at the top of the page, but it's still going to earn, we're going to do that. So I highly recommend not making any changes to your placeholder setup solely based on the performance of that specific ad unit. And then the next report is going to be ad size. So this will show you exactly which sizes are performing on your site. So you can see here that the average RPM for this site is $3.45, but the 300 by 250 is $4.30. That's really common. The 300 by 250 is able to show on both desktop and mobile. So advertisers love that size because they don't have to create a new creative for the different devices. But it'll just give you an idea of exactly which sizes are showing. The cool thing about this is that over time, you'll actually see that Ezoic is able to show smaller ad units the smarter our technology gets, while still maintaining the same RPM and increasing EPMV for you guys. So again, I wouldn't use this to change anything on your site. The next report is going to be ads per page. So we can see here that this publisher has 11 placeholders on their site. 27% of the time we're showing 10 ad units, another 18% of the time we're showing 9, and then to 10% we're only showing 5. So a lot of people are like, well, I do not want to put 15 placeholders on my page. I do not want to show 15 ads. We're not going to be showing 15 ads even when you put 15 placeholders on. So, excuse me, this is a really good report to check in and say, okay, the machine learning is working. We are showing a different ad layout for every user that comes to the site based on these thousands of different data points that our system is collecting. So again, wouldn't make any changes. All right, and then ad density. So this is actually going to show you the ad density over time. So what percentage? I'd say it's anywhere from 5 to 10% that Ezoic is going to show ads. It depends on your optimization settings. It depends on how many placeholders that you are adding onto the page. There's a lot of things that factor into ad density. I will say that we typically see ad density increase at the beginning of a quarter. So as I'm sure you guys have seen, ad rates dropped at the beginning of Q1. This is something that we expect. But to counteract that, we are going to potentially show a little bit more of ad density just to try and negate those losses a little bit. All right, so getting into premium support. If you do want to change the level of premium that you are on, if you're eligible to upgrade, we will post that notification in your dashboard. Like you can see right here, it says, congratulations, you're eligible to upgrade. Click on that manage subscription button, and then there's gonna be 3 little dots in this active subscription section. When you go to that page, over on the right, there's going to be 3 little dots. If you click on that and say change plan, it will show you which plans you're eligible to upgrade. You also have access to a premium review, like I mentioned, with the Publisher Success team. So if you go into your premium dashboard, select that schedule site review, you're going to see all the times that are available. So you can choose the time that works best for you. You're also going to have access to the advertiser report. I will say that this report takes quite some time after joining premium for it to start populating. So if there's nothing in there, but you just joined the program in the last 15 days, don't worry about it. It will start to come in. But you can see exactly which advertisers are winning those locations on your site. And you can see that there's a lot of big brand names that we work with. So Best Buy and Netflix and Adidas. And then there's some additional premium support for you. So if you go into your premium dashboard, there's going to be a FAQ in there. If you select that, there's going to be all the typical questions. But we also have a lot of support online. We're going to send out this slideshow after the webinar, which you can actually click on these links. So if you guys want any of those links, we'll send them over to you as well. And then you do have some additional resources. So if you go to the ezoic.com website and select that resources tab, we have a couple of different options. So number 1 is for troubleshooting. We have support.ezoic.com, which actually has a search function. So if you search for premium in there, or caching is missing, anything like that, the search function is actually really good, and it will show you all the relevant support articles. But you can also go in and then create a ticket if you're not finding what you need, or if you'd like someone to take a look at your site. We also have the Ezoic Education. So that's going to be in that resources tab. And this has a ton of YouTube videos, a ton of information from, we actually have a lot of publishers that work with us that come on and host webinars with us and record their, they kind of host their own webinars, but there's a lot of stuff in there. They're kind of going through it firsthand, just like you guys. So if you ever want any of that. And then we have revenue and traffic education. So we have the ad revenue index. So like I mentioned, with ad rates dropping at the beginning of the year, always check those. If your earnings have gone down, it's probably likely due to ad rates. And then you guys have access to big data analytics in your publisher dashboard, and then industry education. So we have a podcast, we have our blog section. So there's a lot of resources for you guys in there as well. But I'll go ahead and open this up for any questions. Feel free to put them in the Q&A function or the chat. Either one works for me. But there's already one question. So are there any specific placeholders for premium? The answer is no. Premium just takes advantage of the existing ad layout that you already have with your Ezoic. So there's not going to be any additional tools that you have to implement to take advantage of premium. We're going to take care of all of it. All you have to do is select the button for which site you, or which tier you want to join, and then it'll get going the next day. All right. Another question, can we add other sites to premium? Yes, so premium is based off of your actual account, not just the single domain. So if you have one main website and you have a couple of smaller websites, feel free to add those to your Ezoic account, and then we'll get those started up on premium as well. They are going to have to go through the same review process just to make sure that the traffic is good quality and meets the standards of the different ad networks that we work with. But again, you can go to support.ezoic.com or contact your publisher success manager, either one, and the team will help get those sites onboarded for you. All right, and Carol asked, how do we get connected to a success manager? I don't have one. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. If you don't know who your success manager is, I'd recommend going to support.ezoic.com. If you have a specific question or if you just want an overall review, go on and create a support ticket. And then that way we'll get you in touch with whoever your success manager is. Also, since you're on this premium webinar, you likely have access to your premium dashboard already. So if you go in there and schedule a site review, that will also get you in touch with your publisher success manager at Ezoic. So since you're on premium, I'd probably recommend going the premium review route. If you need help accessing that, just let me know. Perfect. Any other questions? Oh, there we go. Can you give any more information into what the site review will involve? So the site review is really what you want to make of it. We have publishers who have site reviews every month. We have other publishers that do it every quarter. We have other publishers that only want to do it once a year. So obviously the frequency of that determines what we're going to cover. But we go over, we make sure that the Ezoic setup is optimal, that your placeholders are in really good positions, that you're taking advantage of the reporting and big data analytics, that premium, you're in the right tier, that it's working well for you. We also help with any site speed. So if you want to get the accelerator running, if your caching isn't hitting, anything like that, our whole team is well equipped in every function that Ezoic offers. So anything that you want covered, we can easily take care of for you. All right, I'll leave this open for another minute or so. If anybody has any last minute questions, feel free to put them in there. We do record all of these and they will be available to you guys. We'll send out an email afterwards with a recording and a link to the slides. You guys have access to that. All right, perfect. Well, it doesn't look like there's any more questions. Thank you all for joining and good luck with Premium.